Happy Winter Solstice. I know that the Winter Solstice by calendar date was yesterday, I believe the 21st. But I'm feeling called to talk about it today. So it's interesting how we will celebrate things on the dates that they are on a calendar because the reality is that, the date is just what they choose for societal purposes, right? And collective experience, I guess, in some ways. And it's funny because coming up to this winter solstice, I felt the energy shift on Saturday. Oof, my throat is so clogged today. I felt the energy shift significantly on Saturday. And on Saturday, the shift was very intense. Like energetically, you could cut it with a knife. It was so intense. I went outside for a while and tried to walk around. There was like a lot of exhaustion I was feeling. And it's because the winter solstice is meant to be a time to reflect. It's meant to be a time to slow down. It's meant to be a time to rest. One of my favorite quotes is coming into my mind that's about like winter is a reminder that it's okay to be still, it's okay to stop, it's okay to rest. And this solstice is meant for us to rest and reevaluate. And what I mean by that is it's meant to be a time where we slow down and ask ourselves, what are we bringing into this new cycle and what are we releasing, right? And going back to the idea that time is whatever it is on the calendar, right? And like we celebrate those things on those dates. When it comes to these spiritual times, these portal dates, right? 332211, right? 1111, 1212, right? The portal dates that we have experience every month. Those are not written in the calendar. And the other thing is we don't really talk about these energetic kind of calendar spiritual times of year. And if you're really sensitive, you feel them. Like I felt them, on Saturday. Um, and I even am feeling the solstice still today a little bit. It feels like this is a couple day kind of portal time period meant to be a time to reflect and kind of reconfigure what you want to take into this next season. The calendar is not made though for spirituality. The calendar was not made for energetic understandings of things. And you can see that in many different ways by, things that aren't even on that calendar, to be honest. The calendar was made for work associated stuff, right? Like we celebrate Christmas on the day that we celebrate Christmas for capitalistic society, whatever. It's all the same kind of ideas in that way. And the other thing that's making me really feel like I need to mention it is back in the day, and we're talking many, many, many years ago, centuries even, there used to be 13 calendar months. There also used to be a 13th um, sign, astrological sign as well. And so I think the Aztec calendar is based off the 13 calendar time period. But we don't even follow that anymore. And so when you talk to some readers and stuff, they talk about how the new year doesn't start until April 1st. And in the Chinese calendar, it doesn't start until I want to say the end of February. I could have that wrong, but I'm thinking that that's it. So, what is time, right? Other than something that we construct as a society, it's something that we construct as a society to what? To serve what? To serve capitalism, to serve the workforce. I mean, I guess it's up for you to decide. I have my opinions about that. But this time of the year is really a time of the year to decide what you're going to take into this next season and what you're not. It's a time to reflect and rest and let yourself just be. And I'm feeling energetically like many of us have had our energy just like sucked out of us. And that's very much on purpose. Um, it's funny because energetically, I think many of us have had like a lot of energy leading up to this. We were feeling really like good, like this energetic comeback after this Mercury retrograde, right? And even the shadow period wasn't too bad. But there was like still this energetic kind of like movement forward, right? And then all of a sudden everything feeling sucked out. And I'm receiving tons of messages from spirit to rest, to relax, to be still. And it's interesting because when you think about how the calendar is written, oh, this is coming through. I've never thought about this before. How the calendar is written, right? The holidays are a crazy time. Everybody's running rampant, going crazy, getting presents, right? Doing all these things. And they actually schedule it in a time right around where winter solstice is. It's it feels very purposeful, like it's done on purpose to like roll through this energetic holiday. This is the time where you are able to walk into a new identity. This is the time where you're able to recreate yourself. All of you who have been waiting for your quantum leap or have been working towards that or working towards your timeline jump, this is the time where that shift occurs. And it can happen on a yearly basis, right? It can also happen at different points in the year, but really, this is the time where that shift is happening. And it's really interesting because it feels like they put the holiday on the day that they put it on purpose. And to be very honest with you, I don't think Jesus even rose around this time, like by the biblical structure. I think they actually just picked this date, right? So I came through very clearly. Um, but when you think about like why things are set up the way that they're set up, are they set up for us to not recognize the spiritual moments, the energetic changes, to not be able to move with energy? Are they set up to work against us, right? And what we're actually here for? It really brings me back to the whole idea of like time in general and how, you really are rushing to get these things done, or you feel like you only have so much time to do this, or you almost have so much time to do that, right? And like, it's funny because I was just having this conversation where someone said to me, they're like, well, there's not enough time in a day. And I said to them, well, what are you spending your time on? How are you prioritizing your time? What does that look like for you? This person also works a 40-hour work week. So obviously, in that type of situation, there isn't a lot of time. And I feel like that's done very purposeful as well. But what is time? Other than a societal created thing to put restraint on us, right? It's okay to rest. It's okay to retrieve. It's okay to come back to yourselves. It's okay to come home to yourselves and recenter and figure out what's next. And maybe something that you've been working on that you're actually just don't feel like you want to anymore, and release, right? Like, this is the time to do it right now. One of my clients, I've been working with them for a while, and they said something to me about like how, oh, it's New Year's resolution time. And I was like, oh, yeah, whatever. Because I don't believe in them. If you want to change, or you want to change your life, or you want things to be different, why do you have to wait until society says it's time for you to do that, for you to do that? Why can't you make that decision at any other point in your life, in your any other moment? Why does it have to be when everybody else is making that decision? Why do you have to join in with that, right? It's kind of like that sheep mentality. And I am not somebody who buys into that at all. Probably why I'm spiritual. Many of us don't. We are rebellious in the way that we think and the way that we function in some ways. And actually, rebellious because it works for us, not works for society. And that's what rebellion is, right? Rebellion is not fitting into society and saying, I don't work that way and I'm not going to try to fit myself into that, rather than trying to fit ourselves into it and being uncomfortable, being unhappy, right? We're called rebellious for that. But really, I just see that as us being free. We're free thinkers. We get to decide how we live our lives and what that looks like, how we make income and what that looks like, right? That's not rebellious, right? But it's seen that way, right? Because we don't buy into society. We don't buy into the way that things are supposed to be, right? It's not rebellious. It's us coming back to ourselves. It's us showing ourselves love. But in this society that we live in, self love is seen as narcissism. Self love is seen as a negative thing, right? I have this conversation all the time with clients where it's like, well, if I love myself, then I'm not being humble. Why does one equal the other? Why can't both be true at the same time? To be able to fully engage in the winter solstice and rest and be, you have to be able to love yourself, because loving yourself means that you are not feeling guilty for resting. You're putting yourself first and what you need first, and rest is what you need, right? And you're able to do that without guilt. But in this society, we see that as a negative thing, right? We see that as a problem. They love themselves too much. I think that there is a way where you can be arrogant in that. I also think that there's a way where you can be humble, just like everything, right? It's not all or nothing. Nothing is all or nothing. But right now, in this time, it's time for you to show yourself love, respect, kindness. Let yourself rest. Let yourself be. Let yourself just be. One thing you will notice with my channel over the next couple of days is I will be posting, but I will probably not be posting as heavily as I have been, because I listen to what I preach. I am one of those where if I'm saying something, it's because I've done it, and it's because I believe in it, and it's because I embody it. I am that guy. So I do just want to give you a heads up that I am not going to push myself to post tons of things if I'm feeling that I need to rest. And I think you may have seen that this weekend as well. And I recommend, and I think it'd be beautiful for you to also show yourself the same love and respect and not push so hard right now. Take time to rest. Take time to be. Take time to show yourself love and kindness and love up on yourself, so that when it's time to move forward, Spirit will let you know. God will let you know. Source will let you know. They'll give you the energy again when it's time for you to start producing again. When it's time for you to start taking that inspired action again, they will give you the energy to put you in that direction and push you that way forward. But if right now you are not feeling like you have that energy or that oomph or that push, there is a reason. There is a reason. There is a reason. Trust. Trust them if you can't trust yourself with that. Trust them that they will give you the energy when it's time for you to start moving forward again and putting things into place again. And when it's time to be done resting and relaxing and reflecting. Trust. Trust them. Trust yourself. But take time to just be and enjoy and rest. Try to stay off screens as much and not taking in as much information. Just let yourself reflect, journal more, be with yourself more. Let yourself just lay in bed and meditate and look outside. Look at the fire, watch the lights, go for a walk. Try to let yourself ground and be to prepare for the next leap that is coming in your life so that you have all of the momentum and energy to start and walk that new path that is meant for you. I'm going to leave the message there. I love you. And if you do feel called to work with me, I do have time. Take a look at my calendar. You can go ahead and schedule something with me. Let yourself rest. You deserve it. I love you.